So welcome back, guys. Today we've got a tuning session on a Ford Ranger. So it should be quite fun, one I haven't done on the channel yet, so that's always good. Let's go.
Won't quite make it in with that, I don't think. There we go.
Height problems. Yeah, you got a bit of a gap. Oh, she just fits.
I might move over my way a bit.
No, that's bang on that. So this is the Ranger on the dyno. Just about fits. Fabby and little strap in these.
So
Loads of room. As you can see, just on the edge. And lengthways, they just about fit, but they fit. We're happy with that. Right, first car, the Ranger. Let's see what this does. Right then, here we go. So, I've got a mic, so hopefully the actual sound's better. I'm going to be using Flex on this Ranger, just to set it up. I always find it quite stable on these cars. So, first things first, let's get the dyno set up. Alright, measure engine power, continuous, so it's 4-wheel drive. So we've got diesel, turbo, manual, no slip, 4-wheel drive. Through the brake, probably a bit less than that, but it's kind of up to, but it just grabs it better. Continue, set this bad boy up. Set up. Right, that's dyno set up to the car. I'm not sure, but I might be able to log the car with this too. Or Ford SID209, I think. OBD. No, it doesn't look like I can. So I'm just going to ID it with this. SID209. So go back one. It's a slightly older ECU. Full OBD. Conditions aren't correct, but the engine's on, so. But I'm connected, so that's okay. So I'm going to run it as it is. I'm on my own logger, I think. The OBD port isn't too bad on here, so I'm not running the extension. It's a Ford, but we would get away with a generic. It's only a stage 1. So you can read quite a few things on these. So let me just pause it. I'll set this up, and we'll start the test. So that's that set up. So I've got engine RPM, boost, fuel, injection time, and intake air temp, air mass flow, and the torque references. So that should be enough just to see what's going on. And that is now a login. So let's do our first pull. Get it into gear. Give it a whiz. 178.2, and the power bands are never that great on these. That dip and the actual losses, not that bad really. 50 brake considering it's running 4-wheel drive is pretty good. So obviously we're not doing great speeds coming fourth. We've got 414 Newton meters, 178.2 brake as it is. I have logged it. So let's see. I'm going to read it off. Flex, and we'll begin. Right, this Flex is an absolute full read. It's an absolute rock star. So I am actually going to do a full backup. So if there's any issues with the ECU, you've always got a full backup to go back on bench. Right, plugged in. There we go. So look at the voltage down there. So I won't bore you with this bit. Just full backup. Off it goes. We're back in a minute. Right, so first issue of the day. The ECU has been patched by another tool, which means somebody else has been here before and patched that ECU, so it won't let me do anything else now with that ECU. So I'm going to swap tools, because it depends on what tool it's been patched by, and I'll see if CMD says the same thing. I mean, it possibly may be that we don't do this car based on that, because there's no point kind of destroying someone's ECU or whatever else. It's just a case of see what it's like. So get another tool out. Let's go. Just going to disconnect the tool from that. You can't just unplug these. And then off we go. So, I've just been seeing the customer, and he's saying he's had it since new. As far as he knows, it's never been anywhere else. So I've gone and got CMD just to see if this car has actually been. I'll see if this will pick it up and sort something out with it. So we've got Ford. Ranger. It's 3.2. SID209. It's it is actually the higher brake one as well. So it's not like it's been tuned. Unless it's been tuned badly, I suppose. Right, so CMD is going to give me a VR. So I'm going to read it. So Ranger stock. I shouldn't be met with issues, because obviously the problem with the VR side is if the car has been somewhere and had something done, password, and actually had something done, then it can be a headache, because you could start running into all the errors. Like if it's had like things deleted and things like that, then it can get to be a bit of a headache. But hopefully it's not actually been anywhere. The guy said he literally bought it from Ford, so it should be stock. So I'm not quite 100% sure why Flex is saying it's been patched. Right, so it's read it off. We have a read. Big Ranger stocks. Just going to load that into WinOLS. Get rid of this one I did earlier. So Siemens ECU, so it's a bit different to like the Bosch stuff. So let's have a look. So it's pretty much one I've done before as well, so it shouldn't be a long session. It's a 209, not 309, Ford Ranger, and then I'll put in the Ford numbers, which are these ones. And we begin. So I'm going to set this up. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Right, so with these, they are quite a little bit messy as they are. Like these are your rail pressure tables. So these are what tells the ECU what rail pressure to use at what point. And as you can see from stock, they are quite messy, I'd say. Because what happens is as you can see all the limits here, look. So this is what we're aiming for, around 1600 millibar of fuel pressure. And there's like 16, 17 there, there's 18 there. They're quite messy from stock. So our first aim is to kind of like smooth all this out and kind of repair what is in there. So obviously the software isn't always about just the power side. It is a lot to do with the drivability and things like that. Because what happens is the the OEM, they don't look at the tables how we look at them. They pretty much just drive the car around and feed back information from data logs back into like a neural network, which then pumps out another map which they load on and go again. So if they don't touch on these areas when they're driving around, you can end up with a bit of a mess inside the tables like this. So my first aim is probably just to smooth all this out to actually make it a lot tidier. So if we start smoothing these out, just to kind of like be somewhere with it. Now I'm going to have to do more than that. So it's a big chunky area as well. Look at that. So if we take these little areas, so look at that. Get in there. And just start smoothing them out. Really tidy it all up because it's a bit messy as it is, and we don't want that when you're driving around. We kind of want smooth transitions between. Try and get that because there's big clumps, big dips and troughs in the software. It's actually a lot smoother than what it looks. It kind of gives you with the colours on. You kind of start to get a bit of a sense of. So if I go to that point there, before 2000, original 1800 value now 1600, so that's already dropped. So it's actually smooth there now. If I took it out and put it back in again, it will be smooth. These areas here, I'd rather it transition a lot better with the fuel pressure, even better than that still. It's just messy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go left to right. So again with you, just start like putting it a bit better. Right here, here. I go up and down with that one. All four sides. Just to start making it better to begin with before you start, because they are messy. So we are starting to get somewhere. We've done this area here, it's actually smooth now. Start smoothing all these little areas out. Just so we've got something better to start with. And we're targeting 1800 to 18540 peak. So we'll take that. 16. So the limit is set to 18540 and we're just targeting 16. Let's just check the logs, see if that goes in line with what the logs say. You can see that jump, look. So it's at 16 and then you've just got this blip. Everything else looks really nice, apart from that blip. So get rid of all these as well. So it's going to run like that first before I start doing anything with. One, I want to see if it actually flashes. Two, I want to know if I can smooth those out. Right, let's go. Right, that has just finished. Took all of 7 minutes and 6 seconds, which isn't too bad. So I'm going to turn the fan on, give it a run as it is, and then we'll go again. Right, back in the car. Save this. Repeat. So back to the logger. Just be a case of connecting, off you go. Start logging. That's what I like about this logger. I don't have to keep going through all the different steps. I just set it up and go. So, traction off. There we go. So there's bits of maps changed, parts of the maps changed, but the main part is going to be the rail. So I want to see a nice flat curve for. I have. See what we made. So 204 so far with that stock rail. So we've got a smoother. Load in the stock run. It's more than just about these numbers. You want to make sure that you're getting a good, so we've got loads more torque everywhere, loads more HP everywhere. So we're already on to a winner. So we've got like another 10-15 brake we could possibly make out of this car, which is what we want. So we're back up to kind of a nearly stock power. It was a bit down. So I am going to tune it up a little bit, see what I can do with the rest of it. Send in some more rail. Let's have a look at the rail. So our rail pressure is now nice, flat. Just how we want it really, without them glitches. So we're in a better position to start tuning it now. So I'm going to add some rail, get this bad boy tuned up. I've already got boost. Our boost is already up, 245. Commanded torque is already up. 30%. So air mass is more. So I think it's just rail really. It's the only thing I'm not really touching on. So I've made all that power without any rail pressure. Because then, like when you buy the tuning boxes and things like that, all they're really going to focus on is the rail pressure, and we've done this without adding any rail pressure. So we're already in a better position than what you would do on one of them tuning boxes. So next up, send in some rail. See what that does. Right, so I've rebuilt those rail maps now. I'm going to flash it to the car. Then we'll go again. Right, so that is that flashed. And ready to go again. Just going to get this wire for the logger. Plug it into the side of the laptop. Right, here we go. So, dyno's already ready. We're flashed. Going to connect the logger. Start logging. So this is the run I've just done. And now we've got more fuel pressure. So traction off. Here we go. So you can see 16,500. Didn't make that much difference really, so I think we're pretty good. 208, 487. So we made a bit more torque and a bit more HP with that little bit of rail. We're only talking, what, 50 millibar, so not loads, but enough just to give it a bit of a spruce. So I'm quite happy with that. Let's have a look at what that looks like compared to the stock tune. So I'm just going to save it. So that was stage 1 version 2. Load the stock file. So the guy was complaining about pull off and things like that. I think it's safe to say we've fixed that. So if I look at the cursor, we're now pulling a good 80 newton meters over the stock file on the initial start, on the initial bit where he was complaining about. So that's good. HP wise, a good 40. Yeah, it's over 40 brake through most of the rev range. So for stage 1, that's pretty much where you want to be. You don't really want to be pushing it too much. You don't really want to be making it smoke or clogging up that DPF. So I'm happy with that as it is. So that was a Ranger all done and dusted. Hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe and all that jazz if you can, because it really helps the channel. Hopefully we'll see that one on the dyno soon. Let's hope. So thanks guys.